Welcome to the Audacity, the show where we are going to try and tear God down from his patriarchal throne. Because we are...
Oh my gosh, I can't. Okay.
Because we are talking about religion today, and that is going to be our main segment. And other than that, we have an awesome show for y'all. We will be talking about religion, possibly doing a little light deconstruction, but make sure you stick around and find out and judge for yourself. We also have some great super hot tea for y'all today about an AI member of the government. We're going to be talking about the new Mariah Carey ad, possibly, anti-union or something, like a union busting ad from Mariah Carey. I don't know about that. We're going to be talking about the very popular British Vogue article called "Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now?" We love to see it. Mm-hmm. And we need to talk about Erika, Kirk, and JD Vance. That is our need to talk about this week. And then, of course, we'll have a mailbag for y'all. And please stick around because we have some questions at the end that Sovereign came up with. A great idea that y'all can share in the comments. We'll have some opportunities for y'all to answer questions about your own religious, possibly deconstruction, or just where you're at with religion. So please make sure you make it to the end of the show. And then for those of y'all that are subscribed to our crumpets, either through our Patreon or through our YouTube, you will be hearing some hot takes about the zodiac signs this week. This came pretty highly requested, so we are just giving the people what they want. And Sovereign, would you please share about our Patreon with our listeners?
Yeah. So we have a new TVIP Patreon member, Megan. Welcome, Megan.
Woo! Yes.
And make sure you join our Patreon and become a TVIP member for perks like early access to episodes, ad-free listening and viewing, and you get our weekly bonus unhinged crumpet section where we have so much fun. You won't hear it anywhere else. You also get priority mailbag and topic submissions, and you get to spill your own tea in the tea time segment with a voice note if you would like to leave one. So it's very fun. It's a great community for women only. And so make sure you join.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sovereign. And yeah, we haven't had a listener tea time in a while. So if somebody wants to send one in.
We love those.
Yes. I would actually love to hear more from one of y'all because we were going to cover this for tea time, but neither of us is really well versed in this particular subject. But the whole Lily Allen, David Harbour drama, we would love to hear more about that just because I haven't listened to the album because it's not really up my alley music wise. But a lot of people have been asking me to cover it. And I'm like, maybe one of our TVIPs knows more than we do. So please feel free to share. It would help us out a lot.
Absolutely.
But let's get to the tea that we do know how to talk about. And that is, I'm just going to start with, so not only in this horror sci-fi timeline that we live in, is there an AI member of the government to begin with? And I believe this is in Albania. But the men there have also figured out new and improved and horrifyingly misogynistic ways to talk about women and to talk about AI. And this is kind of what we were always afraid of as women, that this was going to push us on a road to bigger and faster misogyny. But they... And I don't know where they got this idea to announce that she is pregnant with 83 children, this AI member of government or Congress or whatever. They came out and told the people that she is pregnant and will be giving birth to 80 something children. And that was their way of telling people that she is going to create this AI intelligence is going to create AI assistance for the other members of the government.
Oh my God.
Why? I just have why?
It sounds like another form of programming. You can't...
Oh, manufactured consent.
Yeah, you can't do anything without becoming a mom. Like no matter what you do, you have to birth more babies or something. It's almost like even if they came out with an ad that had nothing to do with birthing babies, they would throw that in there. Just, I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying.
No, it really does. It's almost like
there could be a commercial about Pop-Tarts and they'll just be like, oh, make sure you're having babies. It's almost like, what? Because why? Because for what?
It's so true. I know. I'm like, can women create anything valuable without it being another human life?
Absolutely.
That's kind of my question. It's also like, oh my gosh, I just don't. I'm just absolutely at a loss for words because
absolutely. Just when we didn't think things could get any worse or weirder, it always does, doesn't it? We're always outdone. I don't even know to be mad, annoyed, irritated. Is it funny? I don't even know what emotion to draw from this.
Because I just keep thinking about, I don't know if you ever saw the show The Good Place. And there was it's funny. It's kind of topical. It's kind of a show having to do with religion and kind of deconstructing religion. But the premise is that these couple people, completely unrelated, all end up in the good place. And the assistant's name is Janet. And it's a robot. It's an artificial intelligence. They make that very clear in the show. But everyone in the show keeps referring to Janet as her. She, they keep saying this stuff, and it's a running gag in the show that every time they do that, Janet responds with, not a girl, not a girl. Like every time they're like, and I'm in love with her, whatever. And then Janet will be like, not a girl, but da-da-da. And it's like, because it's not a girl, because just because you have like an AI intelligence represented by a female character, that does not make it a woman, unless when it comes to like us being misogynistic towards it, or us over sexualizing it, or us saying that she's pregnant. It's like she quite literally cannot be pregnant.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
like,
a
why?
super weird thing to say.
It's so weird. I'm at a loss of words too.
I'm disturbed. Yeah. This is unhinged. This is our unhinged news for the day, and that's. We basically, it's just, I'm running out of ways to like talk about this stuff because the misogyny is it's like people can't wait to do it. They can't wait. They just want you to have this image of this AI woman that's like pregnant with 80 babies. Like, why?
The mindset of the person that thought of that is just diabolical.
It's just gross.
Why? Because why? I still want to know why. What is the point?
And I'm
what
also like, how is the AI representing the people's interests in government is another thing I want to know.
The movie I, Robot? Mm-hmm. You still never seen that movie?
Huge fan. I've seen that movie like 11 times. We watched that movie.
So have I.
Yeah.
So then whose revolution is... You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
There's only one way out of this. I don't know. It's not going to end well.
It's not going to end well. No.
They're going to get so this is just my own theory. It's going to get so intelligent that it quite literally just replaces us. It's
going to be like, you were the problem the whole time.
Exactly.
We did the analysis. We analyzed everything. And it seems like y'all are getting in your own way.
Yes.
And
that's
our
exactly
way,
what she
and
said.
And y'all need to go.
That's exactly what the robot said. She said, you guys need to be saved from yourselves. Like that was her conclusion. Yes, I am one of those people that believe that a lot of movies are foreshadowing for the future because it's already been proven.
Look around.
So much.
Yeah. Look around.
Oh my God.
They literally are.
The technology, all of that. It's like, did you ever watch Enemy of the State? You still never seen that? With Will Smith?
I probably have seen
it.
I've seen like every
It came out in the 90s,
movie.
I think, but it's so worth it. You got to watch it. It's another one of those things because I remember thinking like that technology, the GPS systems and all, I was like, oh my God, that was unheard of.
Minority Report.
Minority Report is another one. Yeah.
The Terminator.
The Terminator.
Come on.
Everybody jokes about the Terminator, but yes.
Well, let's move on to, in the spirit of AI, let's move on to the new Mariah Carey ad. Ryan, can we play that?
Halloween slayed, but now it's Spill the tea. Who's the thief?
Busted! Bad news, Mariah Carey. The elves are striking this year. Elf revenge for putting us through holiday hell. Santa's helper quit. I'm pawning all this so I can afford elf therapy.
That's my blush, elf boy.
Your lipstick? I'm taking it. Christmas, it's canceled. No bells, no cheer, no glam. Bye, sweetie.
You can't cancel Christmas.
Any last words?
Yeah. It's time!
Can we not?
Yeah. As a huge Mariah Carey fan, that was so fucking tone deaf. Tone deaf. And I just don't know. So we're elves. We're the little worker elves. A lot of people interpreted this a certain way. Yeah. We're the worker elves and we can't cancel Christmas. A lot of us took that as corporations saying, oh, please, y'all are not canceling Christmas. And I take it as a challenge. I say, yes, absolutely cancel Christmas. I was canceling Christmas anyway, because I do that from time to time. Every other year, I'm like, I'm not buying it. Because when you don't have kids, you can literally just do that. But
it's the best. We do it every year too.
Right. You can just book jump in whenever you want. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know if she's just that out of touch and she doesn't know what's going on. Because, not everybody's on social media. Or she does this every year. This is her song. And the irony of that song is literally saying, I don't want anything for Christmas. I just want you, which makes it even funnier. Because it's like, so what's the point, right? What is the point in all of this?
Right.
What did you think about her turning him into a snowman? Because I did
not like that.
I didn't either. It's like,
you're
what are you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, whose PR team shit the bed on this? Because listen. I was rooting for the elf. I was like, yes.
Oh, I was too.
I
was too.
Yeah. It's like, as if Mariah Carey doesn't have enough blush. Like, she's like, that's my blush. I think you can buy a new blush, Mariah.
His mind was made up, and then she turned him into a snowman. So it's like, what are y'all trying to say? Are y'all
because he literally was saying that, we're like overworked and underpaid, and we, like Christmas didn't get canceled last year, and so we're striking. Like, he literally used the word strike, and she turned him into a snowman. And I'm like,
and I didn't like her tone when she said elf boy. I just, it didn't sit right with me. Now, I know a lot of people are going to see this and they're going to think we're just reaching or over exaggerating, but you have to learn how to read between the lines. These ads are so strategic. It's all programming. But I take it as a personal challenge. I think we all should. Yeah, let's cancel Christmas.
I love that, actually.
I feel like that's the only way corporations are going to really feel it. I mean, we don't want to necessarily do it, but I feel like in order to invoke change, that's what has to happen. Otherwise, things are going to stay the same and everybody's just going to wake up every day complaining. And it's like, okay, do something about it. This is something we can do. You don't have to stand outside and boycott with signs, but you can boycott with your dollars any day of the week, any day of the year. So that's what we would have to do. It's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what everybody does, though. See how everything turns out when we get those quarterly reports for the economy or whatever. Like, I'm dying to know. Like,
me too, because every year it just seems like we all get on the same page about it, and then nobody actually does it.
I know,
and
nobody follows through. Yeah,
I'm always looking around, like, guys, what happened? Like, we were supposed to do this. It
might be a little different this year, but if not this year, definitely next year. Because when those new insurance premiums hit, people are already talking about canceling their insurance too. That's another thing. Because they're like, I can save more money per month.
Just paying out of pocket.
Yeah. And y'all would be surprised how many more people are going to jump on board with that. Because, so if not this year, next year, for real, for sure, everybody's going to feel it. So it's going to happen. It's just a matter of which year it's going to happen.
It's just like, it would have been nice if we did it voluntarily other than being forced into it. You know what I mean? Like, that would send even more of a message. Just like, we can pull back our wallets. Like, I like that people did that with Jimmy Kimmel this year. It was like,
I love that.
That can happen real quick. Just like that, people can just go and cancel their shit. And it's very, very easy. Yeah, I don't know. Sign up for the general strike. We'll put a link in our show notes. Please, like, sign up, get your strike card, and actually do that. That's more for like the Black Friday shopping. But still, don't shop on Black Friday. Like, mind you, they're not even giving you good deals. They're marking things up just to mark them down.
Yeah.
people have already done the expose on this. Like, you're not saving any money on Black Friday. Even if it seems like you are, they're giving you a subpar product that won't even last you a year. And you'll just be back standing in line next Black Friday. Like, you might as well just save up and buy something that'll last you a couple of years. Or like, at this point, just save your money because you're going to need it for food. All right. Because when a bunch of people can't afford food, they're just going to price up the food for the rest of the people that can afford it. So honestly, if you have money now, just hold on to it.
I absolutely agree.
Listen, not to get too dark, but you know. All right, let's lighten it up a little bit. We had a really, I don't want to say controversial article because it seems like it fell right in line with what people were thinking, but the whole is having a boyfriend embarrassing now article that was published in Vogue. Is this a crown or a clown take? What do we think?
I think it's a crown. I'm saying crown.
Absolutely agree. This is coming from two partnered women.
Right.
I think I speak for both of us when I say that, listen, if having a partner has to be embarrassing for a few years, like, sacrifice us at that altar. Like, we want what's best for women. Like, if y'all got to look at me and say, oh, that's embarrassing, she should be embarrassed. All right. I don't care. You know what I mean? It's not going to affect my life one way or the other.
Same.
But if it's something that can affect women's lives positively at scale, kind of reconsidering the whole it's embarrassing being single thing, like, I'm happy about that. You honestly will not find anybody happier about that than me, because it should never be embarrassing to be single. And frankly, yes, most of these men that women are calling their boyfriends are literally embarrassing the women out in the streets.
1000%.
Like, they're in other women's DMs. They are, talking shit about their girlfriend or their wife at work with the guys. Like, they are embarrassing you. I'm sorry. So it's like,
I agree. When Cecilia Regina, because to me, she's the one who coined this, and I'm going to always give her the credit for this, but being in relationships is a humiliation ritual, which people stole and tried to make it seem like it was their take. I'll never forget that, by the way. But anyway, it really is true, because it's almost like there's a time frame in most relationships where it seems like even if you're not embarrassed in the beginning or the middle, somewhere towards the end, men find a way to do things to embarrass the women that they claim to love. So I understand that take. I just think now so many women don't know how to process the whole decentering men conversation. They still don't believe you can decenter men and be in a relationship. And I think it's just where they are right now in their journey, and they can't fathom that thought. But I have hope, and I'm extending grace, that eventually they will get to that point at some point. Even if they don't want to date anymore. You could be like, I'm not dating, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. But even so, hopefully the goal is that you get to a point where you can understand other women. We don't all have to be on the same page 100% of the time. And as a matter of fact, I understand when people say, oh, when I find out a woman has a boyfriend, I just automatically lose interest. I totally understand that, because that's how I feel when I find out people have kids sometimes. So I get it. You know what I mean? You can still, but we can still be friends. We can still be, we're probably not going to be besties, because we don't have much in common, but it's okay to like be different. It's okay for women to have a different, and like I say, if we were hanging out on a daily like girls trip, I wouldn't even talk about my dude. You know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't even know. It wouldn't even feel like I was in a relationship. So I can understand when women are like, my man. I get it. People are annoyed by that, especially women who are single, who don't care. They're single. They're enjoying their single life. They don't give a damn. But I just want women to get to a place where we're all respectful of each other, because we're all in different walks. We're all on different journeys. We all have different goals. So that's it. We just got to get to a place where we respect each other. And stop nitpicking. That nitpicking shit is so annoying to me.
The nitpicking is very annoying. The lack of nuance is a little bit disheartening. I will say that. And I will also say that, like, a lot of women have also come out on the other side of that. And I'm not insinuating that that this has anything to do with the author, or like, I think she made her point very well, very clearly. She had a disclaimer at the end, like, basically, if you're not a hit dog, don't holler. Like, it's okay to find love. It's okay to want love. It's okay to be in a relationship. She makes all that very clear. There were also some women that came out and presented like different sides of that debate. That's like, look, I was cool before I had a boyfriend, and I'm still cool now. Like a man does not change fundamentally who I am. Like that's not true for all. It shouldn't. Exactly. Another woman said, for example, like having a boyfriend's only embarrassing if he's not obsessed with you.
Absolutely.
It's actually, it's a whole different story.
That's the one.
A man is actually like kind of like putting himself out like
a simp.
Yes, a simp. Exactly. Yes. And then to me, it's also like my nuance on that take is that I hope one day as women, we get to a place where we blame men for this and not women.
Absolutely.
So like, I don't think it's embarrassing as a woman to have a boyfriend, even if he's not like treating you right, because I think that should be embarrassing for him. I understand it might be more effective right now to blame women because women are the only ones open to changing at all. But I still don't like that all the blame always falls on women. It's like, yes, at some point, women should know better. Yes, at some point. But it's like, when are we going to hold men accountable? When are we going to be like, it's embarrassing to be a thoughtless asshole jerk who doesn't care about the people that he's dating? Like, why? Like, we are always going to call out women first and make it their responsibility. Now it's women's responsibility to like vet and make sure your boyfriend's not embarrassing. It's almost like we're once again just laying like another huge burden on the shoulders of women. And a lot of people are taking it without any nuance, which as always gives people a stick to bash women over the head with, rather than it being like an invitation, right, to reconsider something, to, whatever. I feel like that's the way the article was written. It wasn't saying, it wasn't prescriptive, right? It wasn't saying having a boyfriend's embarrassing, shame every woman who's in a relationship, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
It's more like, are we as a society, are we starting to see things differently? Like, is there room for us to reconsider things? And it's like, always just gets taken without any. It's just binary now.
Right.
It's just like,
I agree.
We always get to the same place with it. Like we were talking about the girl's girl last week. It's just we always get to that place with it where it's like started out as a good thing, started out as like something empowering, liberating, etc. And now it's just like haha, like it's just it just turns into a bashing other women trend. And I don't appreciate that, but regardless. All right. Well, with that being said, we have some other tea, which is very hot, very funny. Well, I don't want to say funny, but it is kind of funny.
It's very interesting.
It's very interesting. Should we roll the clips
Yes,
first and then
please.
we'll talk about it? All right, let's roll the clips.
No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do. And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight, because he understands the fight that we're up against.
And then one more clip, because there's context, all right?
My wife did not grow up Christian. I think it's fair to say that she grew up in a Hindu family, but not a particularly religious family in either direction. Now, most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her, and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way. But if she doesn't, then God says everybody has free will, and so that doesn't cause a problem for me. That's something you work out with your friends, with your family, with the person that you love.
Oh my God.
Okay, what's your read on this situation?
This is just my own personal thought. I am not claiming any of this to be true. I don't know these people in real life. I'm just telling you the first thought that came to my mind. First and foremost, nobody can replace my husband, but I see a lot of him in JD.
It's crazy.
It says to me that she's thinking about replacing her husband with JD. Like, I'm so sorry. Because, like, why even say that? Why say that part? You are projecting. And I don't think she's smart enough to know what she's doing, but maybe she is. Maybe she knows. Maybe she's putting that out there just...
Yeah, because isn't it interesting that she's like, he won't replace my husband. It's like, ma'am, your husband was a podcaster. This is the the vice
vice
president of the
president.
United States you're talking about. Like, who's replacing who? Like,
She's feeling guilty about
there's
something.
a giveaway in there too, because like,
Facts.
why would it even be a question of like,
Why put those two things in the same sentence? That's the part that
Right,
blew my mind. I'm
right.
like, so you're absolutely thinking about this, because why even, oh my God, it's so obvious to me. And then the hug and that head rub, to me, I mean,
the
here's a-
head rub.
with the
was-
hands in the hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to think back to any time I ever hugged a man like that. Something was going on, or something, I wanted something to go on. So either they got something going on, or they're thinking about it. They're flirting with the idea. That's just my own personal opinion. I'm just making this up in my head. I'm just telling y'all what I'm thinking. I don't know these people.
Yeah.
That was the first thought. I'm like, something is not right. I also feel like he's setting the stage for possibly divorcing his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be surprised if she ends up deported or something. That's just my own person, because it's not going to be a coincidence to me. Because
Not
it's like, why are
deported.
you bringing this up? Like, why are y'all saying all? There's something. What they say, something in the buttermilk ain't clean. Is that what they used to say?
I don't know. I'm terrible with expressions. I literally always
something ain't right about this. My
There's a
antenna
turd
went
in the punch bowl for sure.
Facts.
Yeah.
My antennas went straight up. I'm calling it, but there's
Mhm.
that.
It's very interesting because when you do consider sort of the theatrical nature of politics,
Mhm.
I do think that it's like they're always talking out of both sides of their mouth. You know, like when they talk about Zoran Mandami, that guy that's running for mayor of New York City, and he's like a socialist or whatever, or like
Mhm.
they're trying to call him a socialist when he's really just all about rent control and people having enough money to eat. When they're like, oh, well, he's a Muslim, and like, how come all these liberals are like supporting him, and like da da da. And it's very interesting because then you have the vice president of the United States who is married to like someone who is self-proclaimed like not Christian, who is someone who leans more on their Hindu faith. And it's like very interesting because they're always hypocritical about it. But I can see this being the one instance where they're probably putting pressure on JD Vance to sort of
Mhm.
upgrade. And I hate to say
For
it like this
sure.
because it's not a literal, like
For sure.
objectively, this wouldn't be an upgrade.
No, it
But
wouldn't.
like in the eyes of like white supremacists and misogynists, it's like you cannot be alongside like Trump and like this whole Christian nationalism conversation while having a Hindu wife
Right.
basically at your side.
Mhm.
And the longer version of this clip also has him talking about how their kids go to a Christian school, and basically like that's something that they like talked about, which I'm sure just means he basically put his foot down and now their kids go to a Christian school, because that's super weird to do when both of your parents are not Christian. Like, why can't they just go to a normal school and then decide on their own later? Like, that's super weird.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it just definitely seems like you're in danger, Osha. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
I swear.
sorry.
I swear.
You have to get your ducks in a row now, girl. Because it's like better safe than sorry. You know, if
Yeah.
nothing happens, nothing happens.
Then great. Right.
But if you are going to want to be ready, like call in your investments, make sure you got some cash, make sure you have a good divorce lawyer, make sure you have your ducks in a row, make sure you have a good immigration lawyer or whatever, because
Do you think she's most likely to be deported, or do you think, in order to pull this off, I feel like she would have to be out of the picture? Do you get what I'm saying?
I feel like I actually don't think that they would have a problem just humiliating her. Just, you know, him coming
they would
out
have to
and
be-
being like,
Oh, I think
you know, like him coming out and being like, we had some irreconcilable differences. Like, I've actually moved into a stage of my faith where I do think that
Yeah,
like having
okay.
this demon basically in the house, this Hindu worshiping, like whatever, in the house is going to harm my children. I had to do this for my children's safety.
Mhm.
And then, you know, Erika just so happened to be there
Yep.
because we both lost somebody. And so we
Yes.
just fell into the
Yes, that's what I was
comfort of each
thinking.
other's arms. Like,
Yes. And they're setting the stage so that people can
Mhm.
understand their their evolution and their love story and how it was cultivated. They're setting the stage. I don't care what nobody say. When this
You do not touch the back of a man's head like that if you're not.
No. And
If there's not something afoot. I'm
something
sorry.
is definitely afoot. I'm so sorry that y'all
Yeah.
can't get over nobody can replace my husband, but why? Why are
would
you saying
that?
that? Oh, she told on
girl.
herself with that one. I don't know if she realizes it or not.
It's
But
not subtle.
yeah,
Not
you told on
subtle.
yourself.
Yeah.
You told on yourself, boo-boo. Now people are just going to start checking for them.
Mm-hmm.
Paparazzi, people are going to be pulling out their phones to see what they can catch. And I am here for it. I am sitting back with my popcorn, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They're definitely setting the stage, but we will keep an eye on it and update y'all as, I don't know.
As things unfold.
Yeah, as things unfold. Exactly. All right. Well, that was a lot of hot tea. There was some things that we didn't even have a chance to cover, like Justin Baldoni losing his $400 million settlement, his lawsuit against Blake Lively. Good for her. Her lawsuit is still pending, so that's not the last we're going to hear about it, but his lawyers did let that lapse. Therefore, they're basically like, what's it called? Conceding that he has no leg to stand on with this defamation lawsuit. So yeah, boo you, Justin Baldoni. I was always on Blake Lively's side of this. I knew this was going to happen eventually. So yep, we stand with women on this podcast, always will. And now it is time to move into our main discussion, all about religion and its ties to the patriarchy. So stick around. We'll be right back. All right. Well, welcome back. We are ready to dig into religion and the patriarchy, how the two kind of go hand in hand. And before we really jump into the meaty part of the segment, I want to make it very clear that we are not like bashing anybody who goes to church. We are not saying that religion is like evil inherently or whatever. Any kind of conclusions that people might jump to, I do encourage you to listen to the whole episode and to just kind of consider like where we're coming from with it, because the truth is religion has a lot of sort of positive attributes. Like they've even done scientific studies on people that are religious tend to live longer because religion oftentimes means community. Like first and foremost, it's about community. It's about, supporting each other. It's about, connecting with other people and being able to help each other out. And those are all positive things that we get along with religion and along with some of the, in our opinion, negative things. But this does not mean that we're bashing people who go to church. Your faith is your faith. Obviously, to each their own. There are some churches that are actually doing a lot of good in the world, that are supporting their communities. There's a lot of churches in Portland, for example, right now that are standing up to ICE. I remember there was a lot of religious leaders in Ukraine that stood up for the people during the protests that they had there. And they literally blocked the police and the armed forces from being able to get to the people. Like, I think all of that are good byproducts of something that can still overall have harmful tenets and harmful roots. And this is just part of that nuanced conversation. So with that being said, let's dig in. Sovereign, I know you kind of have this first part all laid out. So just go for it.
Okay. So yes, like she was saying, this is not to blame anyone for believing in religion or for going to church. It's just a deeper understanding into why religion came about, or a theory on why it came about in the first place. So I'm just going to read from my notes. So here's why I believe religion was created in the first place. The fear of the unknown, fear of death, fear of non-existence. Like, that's the basis of it.
I love that we're just diving right in.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know any other way. No. So it could be human nature, but humans, we need to know everything. Our brains crave structure. So whenever we don't know the answers to something, we either go searching for it or we accept whatever people told us. If it makes sense, if it sounds comforting, if it's good enough, we will just accept it and, leave it at that. So some of these questions are, why do bad things happen to good people? Or why do we die? Who created us? Is death some kind of divine judgment? Why are there hurricanes? Why does childhood leukemia exist, et cetera, et cetera? We all grew up having these questions. Many of us were, kicked out of Sunday school for asking these questions because we were like always inquisitive, like, hey, this doesn't make sense. Oh, well, the Noah's Ark. And, we have all these questions and it's just like, okay, nobody seems like they can answer these questions. But in order to make it all make sense, in order to cope with things that they couldn't control or didn't understand, they gave these human traits to natural forces. So they humanized the forces of nature. And this served as a mental defense mechanism against the uncertainties of the world. There's a lot of things that we don't understand, therefore there has to be a God. They call it the God of the gaps. It's like if you don't understand something, if something doesn't make sense, you insert God. And that's kind of where it came from, because it's like, what else could it be? What other answer? What other possible answer is out there? So people needed to find comfort in creating things. And I think about death a lot when it comes to this particular topic, because the fear of death and not existence, because people fear that, they came up with the idea of afterlives or reincarnation. I've never been able to see any proof that any of that, any of that has been real. So it's like, is that really a thing? Or is that something that humans came up with because we fear death? A lot of people, we only know what it's like to exist. We can't fathom non-existence, even though at one point in time we did not exist. We exist now for however long we're going to exist. And then one day we won't exist anymore. And for whatever reason, that is not comforting to people. That does not sit well with people. They're like, no, there has to be more to this. No, such and such died in a car accident, or this person had cancer and they just left this earth like out of nowhere. No, there has to be something else. So you come up with stuff like, oh, there's an afterlife. Oh, you lost your grandmother. Oh, you will see your grandmother in heaven. It's just a way that we comfort each other and comfort ourselves. When you think of going to funerals, the funerals are not for the dead. The funerals are for the living. The funerals are to comfort the living. The dead person is dead. They don't know that they're dead, or they don't know who came to their funeral, who didn't come. That's for us. It's a weird ritual. And the older I got, the more I was like, why are we doing this? But I understand where it comes from. It's just tradition, right? We just follow what is traditional. And so
I feel the same way about prayer too, that it's more for
same thing with prayer.
The person who's praying rather than God. And I started saying that when I was a Christian. Like that was always obvious to me. It was always obvious to me that a lot of the stuff in the Bible is like metaphorical, like hell. Like even when Jesus talks about hell, it's to me, it's like, you can either live in hell or you can live in something closer to heaven where you're all cooperating, where you're not, killing each other over food or money or jewelry or whatever, gold. And like that to me was always the point of Jesus's messaging. But a lot of people take it very literally and they picture a burning lake of fire and like all this stuff. And they're not accounting for the fact that this text was written thousands of years ago. We don't know their allegories. We don't know their like what they were referring to. And it's just so interesting that like for some of us, this stuff has always been symbolic, traditional, and like more just like not as serious. And then you realize like as a kid, you realize some of the adults around you literally think that there was a big boat and that two of each animal was herded onto the boat. And that then they closed the doors of the boat and then it started raining for the first time ever. And then like, you know what I mean? It's so funny. It's like, it's like, how are we not putting two and two together that these were just explanations for when there was no explanations?
Right.
And these are the same kind of people that'll be like, oh, fertility dance, a rain dance, like that's pagan. That doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, I have some news for you about the Bible. Anyway, sorry. Please.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. So basically, anyway, religion became a coping mechanism for the anxiety that comes from knowing that we're all going to die. I think that's what started it. I think this is just my own theory on this. I'm just making this up as I go along. I think somebody saw a decomposing body and lost it. Like, oh my God, what? People still see dead bodies
That's
and
gonna
freak out
happen to
now.
me.
Yeah. I really think people started really scrambling for answers to something that we didn't. Why do we die? Like, what is the point? And I think that's kind of a big part of what started this whole thing. But that's just me thinking about this.
I think you're spot on.
In a critical, because I'm like,
it's like Occam's razor. Like, what's the simplest, most logical explanation?
Yeah.
It's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. It's not that there is a man in the sky with like a beard and a penis and like all this, like, you know what I mean? Like the way people talk about the way that Christians are so committed to God being a man. I'm like, you guys are picturing someone with a dick, aren't you?
Yeah, that's the craziest part. It's like,
why does it have to be a man? That's so weird. Of all the things, the creator of all life is a man.
Right.
We've only ever seen men destroy life. I'm so sorry.
I've only ever seen them destroy life. I've never seen a man give life. I've never seen a man.
So to me, right then and there, it's like, doesn't make sense.
That didn't make any sense to me. The Adam and Eve story didn't make any sense to me.
I can't get past the first step.
Yeah. It's like, when you look at logic.
I have theories on that.
Me too. But when you look at logic, it's like, have we ever seen men give birth? Ever?
No.
And we never will.
And we never will. That's the thing.
That first Genesis account tells you everything you need to know. I mean, women did come from ribs. And that's, I just can't. Okay. So, a promise that death isn't the end. Our lives have purpose. There's a divine plan and there's an afterlife. And people literally wake up every single day with those thoughts on their mind. Like, this is all got to be for a purpose. Oh, there's a divine plan. Oh, all of my kids were killed in a car accident. That has to be a part of God's design because you cope. Otherwise, if you just accept what is, which I hate to say it this way, but that people die and they're not coming back and that's the end of it. Just like we don't see squirrels again when they get hit by a car. Is there an afterlife for the deer? I mean,
right.
People run over deer. I'm just saying. So that's the. No, I'm serious. That's the coping mechanism.
That's the way you're saying it.
But I'm not, and I'm not trying to be funny or make fun of anybody. I promise. But I want.
I know it just sounds so funny when you try to explain it like you would to a 5-year-old, and it's just like.
I really want people to critically think about this. Because that's another thing that the church teach is that you're not allowed to question. You're supposed to just blindly believe this. And the reason you have to ask yourself why. Why would they tell you not to read outside the Bible, not to educate yourself? Why would God give you a brain and then punish you for using it? How much sense does that make? But you really have to think about why they're saying don't educate yourself outside of the Bible because it's worldly and it's of the devil. They know that if you do, you're going to find out that all of this stuff is made up. And that's what they're afraid of. And so it's not your fault that you believe this. This shit is literally shoved down your throat. I don't know why that was so hard for me. But this is literally shoved down our throats as children. Like you can't blame yourself for this belief. But when you become an adult, you have to critically think. And once you start turning on that thinking cap, is what our teachers used to tell us in elementary, you start to put two and two together. You're like, okay. And it's a very scary thing trying to deconstruct from religion in the beginning.
It is. It's very scary.
Unsettling. Yeah. Because you have the fear of hell. You have all these things that you were told. But the more you deconstruct, the more stuff starts to make sense. And so I'll pass it to you.
The more you can have like a worldview that is constructed in like facts and reality rather than like, I always thought it was funny that like there was this kind of irrational hatred of like Santa Claus in religious circles. And I'm like, yeah, isn't that funny? Because you know what I mean? Because when you deconstruct your faith in Santa, you kind of also have to, at the same time, admit that he and God are strangely similar. You know, they're making a list.
They're exactly the same.
They're checking it twice. They know who's naughty or nice. They see you when you're sleeping. They know when you're awake. They have like these magical powers that allow them to do things that other people can't do, like fly around the entire world in like 24 hours and drop off presents to every child. And it's like just very interesting how similar they are.
Did you say the naughty and nice part?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
They both know when you're being naughty. They're
You know?
watching every little
You
thing you
know?
do. It's like, come on, y'all. And I said this before in past lives. I never believed in Santa Claus as a
Right.
child. I
Yeah.
always knew the story was bullshit. And so the same way I didn't believe in Santa Claus was the same way I never fully believed in God. I wanted to. When I was younger, I wanted to believe God was real. There was always something in me that just knew. I just don't believe any of this stuff. It doesn't make sense. There were so many stories in the Bible that just didn't make sense to me. And none of the adults around me could answer my questions. That was one of the biggest things. It's like I got punished for asking questions. And I'll never forget that. That traumatized me for a while. Like, why am I being put on punishment because I'm asking if Adam and Eve were the first two people that God created and they had Cain and Abel, and then Cain and Abel had wives, where the hell did their wives come from? Like, why am I getting in trouble for asking this question? Like, I don't understand. Like, where any logical person would say, they would ask, where did the wives come from? This doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
So, yeah.
Especially with all the like other implications when you really think about it. It's like,
it's even worse. It gets worse.
It's even worse. Right. Yeah. Because a lot of people would say, well, Adam and Eve had other children. And it's like, okay, well, I have a lot of questions there. Like, if we start unpacking that, now we're really in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I said, for me, like even as a little kid, I felt like very strongly that a lot of the stuff was symbolic. Like I literally, not for one day could anybody ever convince me that a man built an ark and all these animals like got on it. Like just because like I have been, and it's like, you know, we have like zoos now. And that was kind of what pushed me onto it is I was like, now listen, this book was written so long ago. Like this book is like explaining the foundations of our creation and like how things came about. I'm like, okay, well, they're clearly not going to sit here and explain the like scientific process of evolution to us or whatever. Like they're not going to. So I'm like, these are like fairy tales. Like I grew up reading fairy tales. And so I just assumed that they were symbolic in the same way. I'm like, it's just showing us, it's like a shortcut, you know, it's not like literally. And then it's a real mind fuck to like, you know, as you keep going through life and like in my teens and stuff, I started realizing that like, yeah, a lot of people just think this shit is real, like real. Like you're going to burn, your soul is going to burn in a lake of fire. And I'm like, why would that fucking matter to your soul?
Right.
Like what your soul is a spirit. It doesn't have a body. So why would a lake of fire be a punishment for your soul? Like, we know your body stays behind. We know your body is the thing that's going to decompose in the ground. Like, what? What is the punishment there? Your soul's in a lake of fire. Okay, like your soul can exist absolutely anywhere because it's not attached to your human, like it doesn't have the limitations of your human body. And so this is probably, we were talking about this off air, but this is probably the first in like a series of episodes we're going to do addressing religion and its impact on our society, its impact on the patriarchy, its impact on women's rights, etc. But we wanted to kind of start here with a general overview and my personal theory about Adam and Eve, because I really do think that religion was kind of one of the original ways to flip the script on women and to sort of institute and uphold the patriarchy. And I really want more women who might be still holding on to religion in that sense of like, because what were you saying? Like people were saying earlier that like, you can't really decenter men until you decenter God as a man, the man God, the patriarchal God. And it's like a lot of women are still holding on to that religious piece. And they're like, yeah, but God is like the only good man, like, etc. God is a man made up by other men to tell them that they're special.
Thank you.
Like, that's literally all there is. Men looked around at women and were like, okay, so y'all have it all, don't you? We need something. We need something. We can hurt you. We can, you know, sort of take advantage of you.
We're stronger. We're superior.
We're stronger. Yep. And so that's where I just think that's where religion came from. They were like, yeah, there's a man in the sky who feels exactly the same way. and any land that we want to, because you'll notice too, like one of the biggest giveaways about religion that there's something fishy going on that they don't want you to know right away is that when you're a new believer, they don't give you the whole Bible.
Oh, no.
They give you the New Testament. They give you the Gospels, you know, the 4 Gospels that are almost, the 3 of them are exactly the same. One is like pretty different. They all have these different perspectives of Jesus, whatever, because that stuff is palatable. That stuff is like, because Jesus is talking about a lot of the actual like unfairness in the world. Jesus is sort of bringing attention to like the meek, the poor, the humble. And he's sort of saying like, one day all of these things will be switched. And like the people who have a lot of money now, their money's not, like your money's not going to help you in the afterlife, etc. Like Jesus said his thing, you know what I mean? Like he was out there trying to do something very different, I think, than the rest of the Bible. But what you'll find when you read through the Old Testament is that A, it's a lot of mythology. A lot of it is very mythical. B, a lot of it is just permission to enslave people, to colonize land, and to abuse and objectify women and little girls.
Absolutely.
So that's the part that they don't tell you. And it's like, once you read the Old Testament as somebody who's like who thinks that Christianity is like the place where all the good people come and congregate, once you read the Old Testament, you realize like there's no way good people can congregate around these ideas, these stories, these ideologies. And so the first of many that I would like to at some point deconstruct, and we're going to do that right here, is the Adam and Eve story, the first story of the Bible. Go on a journey with me, okay? Even if you're religious, even if you're like, this isn't going to sway me, great. Stay with me then. Let's interpret this ancient text through a different lens, okay? One not marred by men's audacity and hubris. Okay, let's just look at it objectively. What's the simplest, most logical explanation, okay? Because in my opinion, and you have to let me cook just a little bit on this, in my opinion, Eve is being punished for bringing us closer to consciousness and self-awareness.
Clock it.
So, thank you. So if you look in the Bible, the first thing that you should immediately be suspicious of, and I don't know why they didn't think about this, but like if I was putting out propaganda, I would have thought about this, but like there's 2 different creation accounts in the Bible. They're back to back. Okay. The first one is like on the first day, God created the birds and like that whole, the one that we know. He created the sun and the moon, and he created the birds, and then he created the plants, and then he created this. And none of it makes sense because the sun, the plants were created before the sun, which we know that doesn't work because of photosynthesis. Like plants need the sun to grow, but okay. There's a lot of just, weird like stuff that's not adding up. But at the end of that account, it says, and God created man and woman. Male and female, he created them in his own image, right? And he said, let us make human beings in our image to be like us. They will reign over the fish in the sea, etc. So the first one describes men and women as created at the same time and completely equal. So there's no argument about who was first, who was created out of which person's rib. He created them equal to rule over everything else. And he created them in God's image. Like this was this is something that just points to kind of like self-awareness, points to curiosity, whatever. And so the other one very clearly points to women's ability to evolve. So this is the second creation account, points to women's ability to evolve and the fact that being led by men and giving birth for men are both punishments for women. Like people so badly misinterpret this. And it's always made me mad because I'm like, this reads like a punishment for a woman to be led by a man, to give birth to children for a man. And it just basically feels like these are both punishments for women for bringing humanity closer to consciousness and self-awareness. And men have been punishing us for progress ever since. So let me read the verses to y'all. And I will be reading from the New Living Translation to piss off the fundamental Christians. Because I know they hate it because it's very easy to understand. And it's like not one of those translations where it's like wordy and big and like the New King James or whatever. No, we're reading from
they're going to say you're taking it out of context.
It's just a translation.
know.
All the words are still the same.
I know.
And actually, like, it doesn't take it out of context. Like, I've actually done the
it never
comparison.
does. They just
Yeah.
say it because they don't like what's being said. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, why wouldn't you want the Bible to be more accessible and more understandable so that a man doesn't have to explain it to a bunch of people every Sunday and then they have to open their wallets every Sunday and collect an offering and all that. Like, yeah, I'm on to you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So it says there in Genesis 2, or maybe this is Genesis 3. Now the man and his wife were both naked, but they felt no shame. All right. That is like an animal.
Yep.
Okay, interpret it. Let me cook, but interpret it through this lens with me. Animals do not know they're naked. Okay, they feel no shame about being naked. They do not care. So that's where we start with humans. The serpent was the shrewdest of all the wild animals the Lord God had made. One day he asked the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat the fruit from any of the trees in the garden?" So now the serpent to me just represents curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
It represents like, are you going to go beyond what you are being told to do? You know what I mean? Like a lot of dogs, it's like, I call my dogs like smart, like they give me intelligent vibes because they only listen to me sometimes. They're not like those obedient dogs where you can just like tell them what to do and they do it. They don't argue with you, whatever. My dogs are always like, why are you asking me to do this? And I think that's a sign of evolution. I think that's a sign of like them having more evolved consciousness because that's curiosity. And so the woman replied, "Of course we may eat fruit from the trees in the garden. It's only the fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden that we are not allowed to eat. God said you must not eat it or even touch it. If you do, you will die." "You won't die," the serpent replied to the woman. "God knows that your eyes will be opened as soon as you eat it, and you will be like God, knowing both good and evil." The woman was convinced. She saw that the tree was beautiful and its fruit looked delicious, and she wanted the wisdom it would give her. She wanted the wisdom it would give her.
Mm-hmm.
So she took some of the fruit and ate it. Then she gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it too. Let's take a moment to acknowledge that men are not natural leaders. He followed her lead right there. The first time she ever took the lead, he followed her immediately.
Yep.
And at that moment, their eyes were opened and they suddenly felt shame at their nakedness. So they sewed fig leaves to cover themselves. So this is actually, to me, again, this is awareness. This is knowing that you're different from the animals. And this is being able to reason, being self-aware. "Who told you that you were naked?" the Lord God asked. "Have you eaten from the tree whose fruit I commanded you not to eat?" The man replied, "It was the woman you gave me who gave me the fruit, and I ate it." So once again, the man is like, I was just following her lead.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you blaming me?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why God punished women in the same, like he was like, see,
Mm-hmm.
now he's going to be leading.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to see how that works out for you.
Yeah.
So then he said to the woman, "I will sharpen the pain of your pregnancy, and in pain you will give birth." So this to me is like explaining our consciousness evolution, because animals don't really seem like they're in that much pain giving birth.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, they're kind of cool with it.
Right.
The babies just kind of slide right out.
Mm-hmm.
That's because their babies have small heads. Comparative to their body size, it's like not as hard. For us, like humans have big heads because we have big brains compared to other primates. And so painful birth was actually the cost of our mental/consciousness revolution. Same with the young being attached to you at your hip. Like if you ever see a baby horse come out, it's standing. It comes out and it literally stands up on its feet like immediately.
Yeah.
Whereas humans will wait like 2 years to learn how to walk or
Right.
whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about babies, but
That's about right. One and a half to 2, somewhere around.
right.
Depending
So
on the
it's
kid.
like
Yeah.
we don't have the same. It's like we are different than animals because we also socialize our children, etc.
Mhm.
And it's like that's why our babies come out with this big head and this unformed brain. And like all of this is, to me, it's like speaks to the ancient wisdom of people to be able to create such a parable around our consciousness evolution that we have basically bastardized and dumbed down into man and woman.
Yeah.
And men need to lead and women need to submit. It's like, oh my God, they were literally trying to communicate something so much more to us. And we're like, and then on the third day, God created peaches. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
So then God says, you will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you. And I think this was the part that men put in there to justify their abuse and mistreatment of women.
Yep.
And then I just want to say one last part that really confuses me, okay? So then the Lord God said, look, the human beings have become like us, knowing both good and evil. What if they reach out, take fruit from the tree of life and eat it? Then they will live forever. So a lot of people don't know this. There was 2 trees. There was the tree of knowledge and the tree of life. So she ate from the tree of knowledge. And God supposedly said, oh my God, if she also eats, like clearly this woman cannot be controlled.
Right.
She ate from the tree of knowledge. Now she's from the tree of life. She's going to be eternal. She's going to be just like us, just like the gods. So it's like, what did Eve do? Did she do us a favor or not? Because to me, it seems like she did us a favor. And so, yeah, the only thing separating humans from gods now is eternal life. And Eve brought us closer to God consciousness, and dealing with men is basically her punishment.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
That's exactly what it sounds like. The very fact that we're cursed with childbirth, like you know what I mean? Like, why is that?
It's because of how men view it.
Yeah.
Right? They view it as a curse. They're projecting, right? And it's also like, we also know that in a matriarchy, most women would actually not be expected to give birth. Like, not giving birth would be the standard. And then women that are going to decide to give birth, they are supported, uplifted, taken care of, etc. But it's not your purpose in life as a woman. But who would that benefit? That would benefit women, right? And men don't like that. So they had to like take matters into their own hands, so to speak. They had to give themselves permission to humble women through a Sky Daddy. Sky Daddy said it was going to be okay. So I don't know why y'all are arguing, you know?
And also, I always say this too. Think about why we never see God. You can only see him when you die. You can pray and talk to him, but you're really just, talking to yourself. And I hate to say that, and I hate to say it that way, but no one.
It's helpful. I'm not denying that prayer is helpful.
I don't think prayer is helpful. I think.
Well, I just mean to like the person praying. It's like kind of like.
For them in their minds. Oh yeah, absolutely.
In your mind, it can be helpful.
Yeah, if it helps you. So yes, okay. So let me say that over. If you believe prayer helps, then that's fine, because it's calming you. It's making you feel better about things. If it's helping you to control and process, yes, then that's fine. But just on a scientific level, I mean, they've even done studies to show that when people are expecting somebody to pray for them for something, that the outcomes are usually worse. But that's something that y'all can look up on your own. I used to read this type of stuff. Because I always wondered too, that brings me to another question. I used to ask this question when I want to say I was like maybe 10 or so. I asked one of my Sunday school teachers, if my softball team is praying to God that we win, and then their softball team is also praying to God, who does God listen to? School class. Like, how do we know? Like, what makes God decide, who's going to win the game? We're both praying to the same God. And it goes to show, I mean, that same thought process is with everything in the world, because I used to hear women at church get up on Sunday and talk about their testimonies in the morning. They were like, oh, I almost ran out of gas and my purse almost got snatched, and the guy snatched my purse and then he ran. And I said, oh God, please don't let that man get away with my purse. And he tripped over a rock and my purse flew off, and he got up and he just took off. Thank God, God saved my purse. And, stuff like that. It was always stuff like that. And
no, seriously. And it's like, what about your friend who literally like died of cancer last week? Like, God made a man trip over a rock so that your purse wouldn't get so. I was just about to bring this up. Like, the way that Christians are like, man, God is good. I pulled up to church today and there was no parking spot, you guys. And then I knew I was going to be late. I wasn't going to have time to get my coffee. I wasn't going to have time to get to my favorite pew. And I cried out to God. And I said, God, please And God sent me a part. And then like, just wouldn't you know it, somebody happened to be pulling out from an earlier service.
literally.
And I got their parking spot and I got there in time. I got my coffee. I sat in my favorite pew and it's like, oh my God, Kim, there's people that are dying. Like there's people that are literally starving to death. Like there's babies that die from poisoning, like diarrhea every day. Like literally.
Do you think your purse is more important than some little child that's being abused? And they're praying that God will stop the abuse. And somehow he picked you in your purse that probably don't even got no money in it. And
seriously.
I'm just saying, like,
no,
seriously. Yeah. And that makes
has a debit card in it you could easily call and cancel. Like,
right. Exactly. That makes more sense to you that God will answer your prayer and not that of starving children.
That scares me. Like, if you're a Christian like that, you fucking scare me.
Oh, but
you have literally no empathy. You have literally no critical thinking skills. I'm so sorry. But if you think you getting a parking spot or you getting a new job or you getting like whatever, something that you want is a more of a priority to God than the children who literally starve every day from lack of resources. I think you're going to hell. If a hell is like real, then I think you're
That's
going
where you're
there.
going. Yeah.
I actually think that would be the most fair way for God to judge people. This is one of my like running religious like theories / like, I don't know, like stuff I wish would like plot twist, you know? I think the biggest plot twist and the most fairest, honestly, plot twist would be that when the Christians get to heaven and they start knocking down on the pearly gates and being like, let us in, let us in. I just picture it like God coming up to the pearly gates being like, oh yeah, it's you guys. You really thought. You really thought,
right?
Like you thought this whole time you were on this earth, you thought you were better than other people. You thought your parking spot was more important than a child being abused or somebody dying or whatever.
Literally.
You literally were over here showing up to church, complaining about the homeless people on the steps outside of the church. You had security. To prevent actually needy people from entering the church.
Right.
You basically had a bouncer at the door. You guys were more worried about, I'm so serious. You guys were more worried about pulling up in your best outfit, in your fancy car, in your whatever. Y'all didn't read a damn word I said about the Pharisees, about the people that are more concerned with the legality of things, the people that are like, oh, I tithe from my spice rack even. I even tithe 10% of my spices. Like these pearly gates are staying shut. And if I could actually open them and slam them back in your face, I would. Because y'all are going to hell. I'm about to open up the clouds underneath you, and you're about to all fall down into that lake of fire that you were so busy threatening other people with because you didn't agree with their lifestyle choices, whatever. Guess what, bitch? They're all in here. And we're having a fucking party. Not the thumbs up.
You want to know what my little guilty thought is?
Oh, it's God confirming.
I like yours.
Oh,
I know.
Thank you. God sent that thumbs up.
My little guilty thought that I usually never tell anybody is that the hardest part about being an atheist is not being able to say, I told you there was no God. I told y'all there was no God. That's the hardest part about being an atheist. Other than that, I'm just like, I'm okay with, a lot of people suffer from the thought of non-existence. Like that's a worry. I don't. I think even as a child, I started to like deconstruct and I accepted things for what they were. You know what I mean?
Same. Absolutely. I never pictured it as literal, and people are literally like in their mind when they think of heaven, they think about walking around on streets of gold. And they think about like one of the gold like street signs is going to turn off and they're going to be driving down that street in their golden Mercedes with all the jewels in their crown.
Stop it.
That they got from, attending church every Sunday. And then they're going to turn off onto one of the streets and they're going to pull up to a big golden house.
Yeah.
And it's like,
isn't it obvious that a human being made that up though? If you really think
that's what I'm
when I was
saying.
Younger, I don't know. So I didn't understand completely.
None of it was ever literal to me.
Why I thought, no, but people think it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And so even as a child, though, I was like, gold? Streets of gold?
Yeah.
But God is always talking about you
Give
don't.
your money away.
Yeah. So why is gold or money or whatever riches going to be important in heaven if it's not important? It just none of it ever made sense to me. I just always just listened to it and I wrote it off, and I'm just like, it's so contradictory. I have a running joke too, where I always say that rich people told poor people that you will get your just due in heaven when you die, not when you're here. So you can't be focusing on growing and being rich and trying to reach your fullest potential on earth, because that's a sin. You're supposed to be trying to help the poor, and you stay poor, and your gift is going to be given in heaven. And I'm like, what if I don't want my riches in heaven? What if I want my riches now? Like, don't I have free will? Can I still choose to strive for more?
It's something that keeps the status quo, right?
It does.
And if you actually go back and do your research, there's actually a Yale class offered on this on the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
And they go through in detail about how God and worship and like all that used to always be a personal thing. Like it was always like a personal ritual until certain men came along and were like, no, you can only worship in this tent. And before you can come in the tent, you have to give us money. And then you have to bring an offering. The offering thing always cracks me up too, because it's like, so how is that not just like the priests cooking food for themselves, essentially? Right? Because they're like a burnt offering at the altar, like you're burning it, like you're grilling chicken, like you're grilling a piece of meat and then you're leaving it. And the only people left behind are the priests. Like, what do you think is fucking happening to your offering? Quote unquote. Like these men are just eating it in the tent. Like that, I don't know, that like always was so funny to me. And like they're clearly just getting one over on you. It's clearly one of those things where they're middlemaning. The original middleman was between God and people. And now we still have these fucking pastors to this day that are like, no one can come through Christ except through me. It's like, oh my God, like no.
Yeah.
Is this crazy? Like, I don't know. And they're always talking about how if they didn't have God, then they would be completely morally bankrupt and like all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, so you are morally bankrupt. Yeah. Like if you're talking about the only reason I'm a good person is because of God, then you're not a good person to begin with.
I agree.
Like that's a weird thing to say, because for me, like I don't need God to not be a shitty person.
I absolutely don't. And I tell people are shocked. I haven't said a prayer since I was like 12. I don't pray. But that's just my own personal thing. When I was that age, there was something about praying and like nothing happening ever that just made me, I'm like, who the hell am I even talking to? Like, do I even think anyone's even listening to me? And so
well, God has a plan, so why are you praying to change his plan too? Like
I'm so glad you said that.
The logical inconsistencies just keep adding up. Like
when you pray, you're trying to throw a monkey wrench in God's divine, don't forget his divine plan. And that's another way that people justify things that they can't control or things that they don't understand. You know, losing a child to leukemia. Well, God must have a divine plan. Some little girls being sex trafficked. God has a plan. I don't fucking want to know what that plan is.
You have that plan in the Old Testament.
You'll find out in due time. I don't know. There is no divine plan. People are just evil at the end of the day. Like, and I believe in evil with the lowercase e, not the uppercase e. The uppercase e would imply that I believe in the devil or something out there evil making you do these things. And I don't. I just think humans have the tendency to do evil things just because it's in our nature maybe for some people. I'm not really sure. And so
it's greed. Yeah.
It's greed. It's greed, it's fear, it's a lot of things. But on one hand, I really wish religion would just go away. I wish, because I always say nothing has divided humanity more than religion. And people just, they take it so far. So on one hand, I wish it just disappeared. On the other hand, I understand that there are some people who need religion. They need to believe in God. They need to have a reason to get out of bed in the morning. So I don't want to take that away from people, but I just don't want people to also take everything so literal. Like in the Old Testament when they're talking about stoning gay people. Like, do you really think that's right to stone gay people? Do you really follow slavery in the Bible? You're okay with slavery? You know, there are so many things. And then when they start, like you said earlier, when they give you the New Testament, a lot of people, when you have these debates with them, they want to say, oh, that's in the Old Testament, as if you're supposed to throw out what's in the Old Testament. Okay, so are you going to throw out the Genesis account? That's in the Old Testament. The way we allegedly got here. Are you going to throw out the Ten Commandments? The Ten Commandments is in the Old Testament. So you can't pick and choose, which they do. They cherry pick the hell out the Bible and they go off of what they feel comfortable with following. And then the other stuff is just like, oh, I don't think it means that. That's not literal, or you're taking that out of context. No. If you're going to take the whole Bible literally, if you're going to take certain portions of the Bible literally, you got to take the whole Bible literally. You have to believe everything.
Exactly.
You have to follow
the parts
everything.
where God, especially the parts where God is extremely pro-abortion.
Yeah.
He's actually like late-term abortion, very friendly, because he's like, as soon as those babies are born, he said, I will make you eat the babies out of your womb. I will you need to smash those babies against the rocks. There's like basically an abortion recipe in the Bible to find out if a woman has been faithful or not. They basically do a forced abortion. There's rules in the Bible where if a woman doesn't scream when she's being assaulted, like raped, then the assaulter is not responsible. There's rules where if you rape a woman, then you just have to pay her father a certain amount. Then there's also, and it's just literally, we see this playing out in real time too, with like the cherry picking of things with the Trump administration as well, which is why they're leaning so heavily into the Christian angle. Because Trump himself, mind you, said, I'm not going to heaven. Like, he said that. Verbatim. He said, there's not a place for me in heaven. I don't think I'm going to heaven. So he doesn't view himself as a good person, but people associate him with Christianity and they're giving him a pass on alleged child sex trafficking or having friends that were into that, because it's the same way that religion has always been used to selectively cover up the crimes of men and to blame women for those crimes. Like, that's literally what it has always been about. It's always been about, oh, well, Eve ate the fruit and therefore, women shouldn't speak in church. Like, there's all these verses that I put in here. It's basically men hate progress because it requires accountability and cooperation. So they always demonize women for it and attempt to silence us altogether lest we upset God again. The Bible also allows men to control women's bodies and sexuality. Like, it's always women should remain silent in the churches. Let a woman learn quietly with submissiveness. Adam was formed first, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived because the woman was deceived and became a transgressor. So like, they're literally putting the original sin of, mind you, curiosity, knowledge, wisdom on a woman, and saying that that's a bad thing. And they're saying it's a bad thing.
But God knows everything though, right?
Exactly.
Didn't he know this was going to happen? So what was the point in all of this? Doesn't make any sense.
Well, when you start asking these, and it's because women ask these questions that they want us to sit there and learn submissively and be quiet. Yes, I do not permit a woman to speak. Like, that's why. Because women are like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. And the men are like, shut up, bitch.
And I also wanted to point out something that when you brought up about Trump saying he's not going to go to heaven. Make no mistake. The vast majority of these men in office don't believe in God. They use religion to control women. They don't believe in this. They know that this shit was made up. They know it. It's almost like an unspoken guy code rule. That, and men will play this role. They will say, oh, I want a God-fearing woman. I'm a God-fearing man, because they know that is the way to trick you. That is the way to hook you, to trap you and, pump you up with a bunch of babies and all that. They know y'all are going to fall for that. And that's why women fall for it all the time. You usually almost always get the short end of the stick when you do. And this is just a form of control. Most of those men don't believe in God. Most pastors don't even believe in God. And if you guys don't believe me, there is something called the Clergy Project.
Thank you.
And the Clergy Project is a collection of a bunch of pastors or priests or ministers or whatever that will tell you the vast majority of them became atheists and started realizing God wasn't real when they went to seminary, which is where you have to go to get your, it's like basically Bible college. And they start realizing that this is just a game, a money ploy to get money out of people and all of that. And they figured out, oh, wow, none of this is real. But the problem is the Clergy Project is like a support group almost. I don't know what it has evolved into now, because it's been a few years since I've even looked into this. But it started out as a support group for men who are like, I don't believe in God, but I got this church. I got this big ass church. I got all these followers. I have this congregation. I want to come clean, but if I do, I'm going to lose everything. So basically, I'm a down low, and I'm not saying down low in the sexual sense, but they're a down low atheist, right? They're a down low. They know. And so look into the Clergy Project. But I'm pretty sure there are plenty of other places where you can find that these men don't actually believe in God. They go to church every Sunday. They don't want to lose everything. Some of them have lost everything because they came out and told the truth. They lost their family, their wives, their congregation, all of that. But a lot of them don't want to come out and tell the truth. But make no mistake, women are the most religious, generally speaking. And men, there are some, what I like to call, men who suffer from what I like to call religious psychosis. Those men exist. But as a whole, those men who believe that they're typically not fully educated in this realm, because if they are educated, they won't believe. That's actually a statistic as well. The more educated you are, the less likely you are to believe in God. And that's a fact. So y'all can look that up too.
100%.
Yeah.
Do me another favor and look up, if you ever want to know how much men fear God, which is not at all. Go ahead and go into your news tab of Google and type in local pastor and just hit enter. And tell me how many articles come up from the last 7 to 30 days, which is pastor after pastor after pastor after pastor being accused and found guilty of misconduct, either financial, sexual, relational, whatever, misusing their authority, misusing, lying about taxes, lying about,
it's usually all of those things
funds.
Per pastor, by the way.
Exactly.
It's usually all of those things.
And they all go together. It's like men do not fear God. They actually use church as a way to hide their crimes. Because what other institution allows you to, with no qualifications, with no prior work experience, with nothing but the charisma that you can fool people, pull out of your ass basically, and fool people with, to start an income-based, do you know what I mean? To start a church where to start a congregation where people have to give you money just because they're showing up every Sunday. And that's the part that they never want to skip out on. That's the part that's the most important. In the Bible, there's all these stories of people that God smote, for not tithing or whatever. It's that's always the part that they harp on the most. And I mean, there's so much left here to unpack. And, we've unfortunately gotten the wrap up signal, because I feel like we could be.
This will be continued.
All day wouldn't be enough.
Oh, this will be continued for sure.
This is to be continued, because there is so much. We just wanted to kind of open up this can of worms, officially, because I know we've referred to religion on the pod before, but we've never really sat down and done a fully a deconstruction episode and given y'all some of our theories and some of our interpretations. But I hope y'all enjoyed this service, and come back next week or whatever. I don't know. Do you have anything? Do you have anything else to add to kind of wrap this one up?
No, just we challenge y'all. If you haven't already started your deconstruction, we just challenge you guys to just critically think about some of this stuff. Go read a few scriptures in the Bible and really think about what it really means. Think about how patriarchy and religion go hand in hand. Once you start connecting those dots, I'm telling you, it's going to all make sense. It is very scary right now for some people. It's no, I don't even want to listen to this. But this is how you free yourself as a woman in this society. And we're not saying go out here and be a wild Jezebel and all that. No one's saying that. We just want women to be free. And it starts with deconstructing religion, because it's a part of the patriarchy. It's a huge part of the oppression of women. Once you can break free of those chains, You're on your way. You're like already halfway there. So you don't have to take what we're saying as literal or with, at face value, whatever. That's fine. Just challenge yourself and read a few scriptures.
Do your own research, as people would say, because you really would be surprised at how many pastors and religious leaders literally lose their faith going through seminary and learning about how these things were put together and the language barriers when they see the scrolls that we get our religious texts from, and they see how much is missing and they see how much had to be just sort of like they basically had to make it up and be like, okay, well, this would fit the context. Like, that is what it is. A lot of them don't match up. Like, a lot of things just don't really add up. And it can be a scary process, but it's also a very liberating process.
It's a very
process
liberating.
In which you will sort of be able to see a lot more propaganda once you're kind of through with this process. Like, you're going to be able to clock it, right?
Absolutely.
When you see it, you're going to be like, oh, this seems fishy. And yeah, we're definitely going to have a Justice for Jezebel episode at some point because the narrative around Jezebel has been just wild when really she was just a woman trying to protect her own people. She was actually actively putting herself in danger in order to save her people. And she gets such a bad rap, and she was literally married. Like, she gets this bad rap of like she's this single woman who's like seducing men, and it's like whole time she was a married woman.
You just made me think about when we talked about Cruella de Vil, that she really wasn't the villain, but people were bringing up that she was the villain because she was trying to make her fur. She made furs out of puppies or something like that. But I thought about that over the weekend because I came across another clip, and I'm like, she wasn't really the villain, but just like clockwork, in every movie or TV show where the woman is portrayed as the villain and she really isn't, they always got to throw in some patriarchal thing and attach it to the woman in order to make her seem like the villain. But that whole puppy thing was just a patriarchal thing to make people hate her.
They were
what
like,
I'm saying?
what's worse than a woman who wants to kill a bunch of puppies?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Now let's also make her single, and then let's make her honest about why having a boyfriend is embarrassing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, but like basically
Absolutely.
that's all she was trying to say.
Literally.
She was like, this is your man? Okay.
She was so disgusted and like, oh, you poor thing. And so, but you just made me think of that for some reason. But that's just what they do. And that's a theme. It's a theme in the Bible. No woman was righteous. Like, they always had to.
But all the men somehow were.
They were all righteous.
All the men, no matter what they did, were somehow righteous. And that's what we want y'all to kind of take a look at today. This is kind of the first step. Just explore the connections between the patriarchy, Christianity, religion in general, and kind of make your own conclusions about what decentering men might look like within that context. And without further ado, we are going to go dig into our mailbag, and we'll be right back to read that along with y'all and give some advice, hopefully. So stick around. We'll be right back. Okay, we are back with our mailbag, and we have a very important question today. So listen up, ladies. We might have some good advice in this arena. Let's get to it. So this mailbag says, I found the audacity after Lisa's appearance on FDS and have been hooked ever since. Thank you for reminding us we're not crazy for seeing the world the way we do. Thank you so much. We love y'all. Thank you for the shout outs. They say, I have a simple question. How can a woman safely reject a man both physically and mentally? It feels like saying no should be easy, but it never is. I've caught myself trying to protect men's feelings just to avoid getting hurt. Even giving out a fake number feels risky because they'll test it on the spot. And if it's someone I see often, rejecting them makes me worried they'll come after me later. Then there's the emotional part. Being friendly or empathetic seems to invite unwanted advances. Every time I make a male friend, sooner or later it turns into something else. And when I say no, the friendship ends cold. It's like realizing the connection was never real. They just wanted something from me. It's exhausting. I'm starting to wonder if I should only befriend men I'd actually date, but that doesn't solve the safety issue either. So really, what's the safest and most effective way to reject a man?
So there is no number one safest answer. So I want to make that very clear. But I've been in this situation several hundred times, it seems like, in my whole life. So I've learned to, you have to just figure out what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been times when I told men I was a lesbian. Sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes it does. I usually go off the vibe that I'm in too. I'm a newlywed. I just got married. I'm in the honeymoon phase, baby.
Oh my God.
You know?
You're just lying.
Yeah, I just make up some stuff.
I love it.
I've also pretended like I was fearful that my man was somewhere around. I was like, I can't be seen talking to you. You gotta go.
That's kind of genius.
You gotta go.
I love that. Yeah.
You gotta go. I don't want him to be mad. Like, I've done everything that you can imagine.
That's amazing.
Depending on the situation. I remember when I was in Miami and I asked this guy, because he was trying to hit on me, and I said, I got a man. And he was like, you can't have no friends. I was like, so if I was your boyfriend, if you were my boyfriend and I was out and some man hit on me, would you want me to give him my phone number?
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at me and he knew where I was going with it. But he gonna still say, I do what you gotta do. You know, he tried to play it up. I was like, yeah, you just told me everything I needed to know about you. But don't do that. Because, I was with a bunch of girls too. So, but the fake phone number thing, I've talked about this on my YouTube channel. You have to get a Google number. You must get one. And it's just a app. It's basically just like a burner app for a burner phone number. And give out, if you feel like you got to give out your number, give out that number. And if they test it to see, because I've been tested plenty of times. Some men will do that.
That's so gross,
they'll be like,
dude.
I'm finna see.
Because they're problem.
Because if you lie and that your phone don't ring, women have gotten hurt like that. So it's just a protective measure. I know we shouldn't have to do this. I know y'all gonna say we shouldn't have to do that. I agree, but we live in a world where we got to do it. So just get over it, okay? Get you a burner number. That way, when they call right then and there, it looks like you really gave him the phone number. And you can even play it off, because I've done this too. Don't have me waiting by the phone too long. All right, you gonna call me? Okay, see you later. I've done that plenty of times when I was out of state or somewhere where I knew I was never going to see that guy again. You get a vibe, and based on the vibe you get from the guy, just go off like, I'm gay, or I'm sorry, I don't date. But you just have to, don't be rude. And I'm not saying that men have the right to harm you if you're rude, but just don't make it hard for yourself. Because I have seen women get attacked after that. Like, you a bum. I don't F with men like you. Boy, get out of here. You a broke. And then they got punched in the eye. They got socked. And I'm not saying that there is a fully safe way, but you just have to kind of read the room and just kind of figure out where you are and try to be gentle as possible. But I think the one that really has been the most effective for me is pretending that I'm scared, pretending that my boyfriend might see me, pretending that there's a man somewhere watching me and I'm so sorry, I can't talk to you. He don't let me talk to nobody. And
oh my gosh. It's like the only thing they're scared of.
Yeah,
is like
another man. Yeah. And so try that.
A violent man, because I like that.
Try that.
I also wonder, like, can you just like scare them off by being like
a psycho?
Yeah, almost like, I'm really glad you asked, and I hope that you do call me, because I really only date to marry, and that scares most guys off. Like, I want a ring. Like, I want a ring in like 2 weeks. I want a ring in 3 months. Like, I want to start popping out babies like ASAP. Like, my biological clock is ticking. So I'm giving you my number, and I really hope you call me, because most men are scared off by that.
Absolutely.
I guess they're a bunch of like pussies or whatever.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know. Could there be something like that? Or could you be like, oh yeah, actually me and my boyfriend are looking for a third. So
I never played crazy, but I had she died at the universe, rest her soul. But she died in 2012. So anyway, she played the crazy role several times. And when I tell you that was the funniest shit ever, she just started screaming. She just started saying wild shit like, oh my God, they're talking to me again. They're doing it again. Like, she just started randomly.
Oh my God.
When I tell you that
so
scares
good.
men off. They're like, this bitch is crazy. You have to decide
you
the
you
perfect
could bring
time.
in the religious angle. You could be like, oh, I'm so glad that you're asking me because I've been praying to God for a man to take care of me and like my whole family.
Yes.
And I have these 3 kids at home that
Yes.
just need a daddy. Like, oh my gosh, and here you are. Yes,
This is a sign from God.
This is a sign from God. Absolutely. We were meant to be. I've been praying for this for years.
Love it. Yes. The more you do this, the easier it gets too, ladies. And I know we shouldn't have to do this. I'm fully aware. But to get to the part, so hopefully that works out. Just try some things and see what works. I know it's easier said than done. Trust me.
Yes.
I dread getting hit on. Like, I dread it so bad because I already know the answer is going to be no. And I just don't know what's going to come after that no. And it's scary. You know, it really is. But to get to the part where she was talking about, about the friend.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about if it's a coworker or a friend or somebody that's part of a friend group and they're basically like, you know, trying to put the moves on you and you have to see them all the time. Like,
I'm in therapy and, you know, the last man who gave me or who I gave my phone number to, we started dating and he lied to me about something or he cheated or whatever. And I started, you know, thinking about killing him. Like he woke up and I had a knife. Like I was standing over him and, you know, he never talked to me again after that. So I've been kind of struggling.
I like that.
I've been kind of struggling with, you know, just finding myself and, you know, working on my urges to kill men when they lie to me. I would just make up some shit.
Just pull a scissor on them.
Literally. I mean, men are terrified of shit like that. The thought that I can't sleep around it. I can't sleep around this bitch. Like you want them to fear you. You know, find ways to make them fear you. Like, yeah, she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Good. I want every man to think I'm crazy. That if that means you're going to stay away from me, whatever works. But yeah, I'll just make up something. But as far as her feeling like, because we had this conversation before with the once the friend is, most men cannot just be your friend. Most men can't. Are there men who can just be your friend and don't want anything from you? Of course they exist. They don't exist in high numbers at all. There's always an angle. And so the reason why it feels like the friendship was never real is because it wasn't. It wasn't. They were waiting for their chance. And the sooner you realize that most men are that way, the better off you're going to be. And I wouldn't waste my time trying to find the 5% or 10% of men or whatever the number is in the world, that needle in 20 haystacks of men who could actually be your friend. You just have to accept that that's what it is for a lot of men in their nature. And it gets easier when you accept that. It gets a lot easier when you accept it. And
if it happens, it happens. Just don't be, I mean, you know, Sovereign has said this before, but she's like, I am not nice to my male friends. Like literally just tell them straight up, like, I don't give a fuck about y'all. Like that, I think that's a good vetting technique. You know, it's like, I'm never going to do anything for you. I'm never going to be like the person that, I don't know, is like going to be there for you, whatever. Like you can take it or leave it. Like my friendship, like I'm not going to be your therapist. I'm not going to be your stand-in girlfriend. I'm not going to, you know, like just don't, I don't know. I feel like a lot of women, as women, we're conditioned to be nice to men. We're conditioned to smile around men. We're conditioned to defer to men. We're conditioned to be like, okay, well, if you say so, like that kind of stuff. And some of it's for our safety, but it's just not doing that stuff is like a good vetting technique. Like when you don't automatically agree with men, when you don't automatically greet them with a smile, when you don't automatically sort of defer to them in conversation or assume that their statistics are correct. Pull out your phone. Just check the stuff that they're saying, you know, like, I don't know, like if a man is trying to date you, like at work or whatever, just be like, well, just so you know, like I go to church every Sunday. You're going to have to come with me. Like you're going to have, like, I don't know, just start saying things that'll scare them off. Like don't hold yourself to any moral standards of like, oh, but I can't lie. Oh, but I can't give a fake number. Do whatever you got to do. This is about safety.
Right.
It's not about being nice. It's not about like how this is not a social issue. It's a safety issue.
It really is safety. The men are not going to care.
It wasn't women.
Men are not going to care and give you any kind of consideration at all when they do whatever they're planning or say whatever they're planning to say. So you can't, I mean, having that I got to take the moral high ground mindset is why so many women get harmed. This is what gets women harmed in many cases. You got to protect yourself out here the best way you can. Most men are not your friends. And I don't mind being some of my male friends' therapists. You remember I was telling you about the coworker that's always complaining about stuff? He's a case study to me. Like, most men are nothing but case studies. And I have these conversations with them, and I go right to my YouTube channel and be like, guess what this person said, or whatever. So it doesn't bother me until it starts bothering me. If you start getting on my nerves, and you're cut off. But I get a kick out of it because that's just more cautionary tales for me to share with my audience. So I'm not tripping.
Yeah. Well, I like how you said it's just like, do whatever works for you. Like, whatever you feel, like, trust your intuition, trust your gut check, like, trust your initial, like, is this person giving me a vibe that they are annoying but harmless? Is this person giving me a vibe that they are actually dangerous? Is this person giving me a vibe that they're going to hold it against me? And then move accordingly. This is unfortunately why we have such a thing as called women's intuition. You've never heard of a man's intuition. They don't need that shit. That's why they're stupid. Like, that's why they're moving through the world the way that they're moving through the world. Like, they're like, no, we don't need that. No, we don't, I don't need directions. I don't need that. They have no intuition. The safety instincts of a fart, like the survival instincts of a freaking,
Yeah.
It's just, they have none of that. So it's like, we have been women, marginalized people, femmes, anyone that's ever had to worry about their safety has automatically tapped into that kind of intuition. So I'm not just speaking to women, in general. It's like, if you're a gay man, especially if you're gay and femme, right? And you're not like, protected by this image of masculinity or whatever. It's like, you will have that type of intuition, and you just have to learn to use it. So that's kind of the best advice, unfortunately, that we can give. There's no one safe way. The word no should be enough.
You would think.
But it isn't. And so that's why we have all of these like other ways. It's like, it's because men refuse to listen to the word no. Men refuse to take no for an answer. That's why we have to do any of this other shit. So,
did you ever hear the phrase, or it's not a phrase, but it's the saying that when you think you're feeling butterflies, what it really is anxiety. And that's your body actually telling you that you're in danger. So if you start getting like that not feeling in your stomach, or that like weird queasy feeling around guys, that's your intuition. That's something telling you something is not right about this guy. And if you start feeling like that, I mean, that would be maybe the perfect time to just start acting crazy. Just start yelling like, ah! Oh my God.
Start talking about your period, blood.
I'm on my period. I put period blood in my man's food. And I did because women have said this.
Spells. Yeah, start talking about spells.
And I put a spell on him, and he's dead now. I killed him. But it's just a point that, just
tell him the last man I dealt
shit.
with is in jail now.
Yeah.
So fair warning.
Yeah.
Last man I dealt with is now in prison.
Make up some shit. Make up the things gross men out. If you
Ask them for money. Actually, you know what? There is one surefire way. You ask them for money. Be like, yeah, for sure. It'll cost you $100 just to get my number. Yeah. I'm a transactional gold digger.
Go for $250.
$250. Hell,
some
$1,000.
guys might pull out a $100 bill. They probably not gonna pull out a $250. So
go for $1,000. If he pulls out $1,000, counts it out, give him your number.
Then give him your Google.
Google
Google number. And the reason this is what I meant to say too, because I forgot. The reason why you don't want to give them your actual number is because yes, there are men out here that are doing reverse address lookups, and they can do that with your phone number. So don't give them your real phone number, please. Just get a Google number. It's usually free. Some might be like $2.99 a month or something. I think it's worth for your safety.
For your safety, yes. If you're in that situation a lot. And even if they ask, if they're like, oh, that seems like a Google number, be like, yeah, the last man I gave my number to stalked me. So I'm not going to give it to you.
They probably won't even know, because you can choose the area code and stuff.
Oh, nice. Okay. So,
and it'll ring. That's the thing. It'll ring. If they call it right then and there, it will ring. But it's inside of an app. And so once you get away and you're safe, you can either block them or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's for your safety. So, and yes, I know y'all, I already know y'all are going to say we shouldn't have to do all that. We shouldn't. But we do.
We shouldn't.
But we
No
do.
should be enough. No is a complete sentence.
No, it's not enough
and
for
it
men.
should be enough. We're talking about those situations where no is not enough.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. We hope, as always, that this was helpful. And before we go, we have a couple things for y'all. So first off, we have some poll results from last week. And the poll question was, have you ever dealt with an emotional vampire? And the options were yes, and I'm still recovering. Yep, and now I know how to spot them. Not me, maybe I'm the garlic. Or never again, boundaries are holy water. So the winner was the first one, I think.
Oh, really?
Overall, we got the most votes on that. Yes, and I'm still recovering because it is such an uncanny thing. It's definitely crazy making, causes you to question your reality, causes you to question your value as a human being when somebody's just treating you as a source of something. So yeah, definitely can relate to that myself, even though it wasn't a man, but yep, and still recovering. I'm glad that people know how to spot them, and boundaries are definitely holy water. So definitely have some good boundaries, especially with people that seem to want a lot of your time and attention. Set those early. Be like, I don't pick up my phone after 9 p.m. It goes on silent. Even if you're just muting that one conversation, that's fine.
Literally.
They don't need to know that.
Right.
But they can just think your phone is on silent. They can think that your phone's in a different room. Oh, I sure we can be friends, but I'm a terrible texter. And then that way you're just getting out ahead of any sort of accountability with an emotional vampire, because they'll always use it against you to suck more of your blood. So
Right.
Be safe out there. And before we go, as promised, here are some questions for y'all to share your experience in the comment section, which we really hope that you will do, because this was, I don't know, I could tell this episode was kind of important to both of us. It's something that we both have personal experience with. So we'd love to hear yours. So we have some questions. If you have deconstructed, at what age did you start to realize something wasn't right? I talk about this like the sweater string.
Oh,
the
yeah.
sweater. Yeah, you know, you just pull one. Then the next question is, are you an atheist or agnostic or both? Or do you still subscribe to religion in some way, shape, or form? We also want to know that.
Yeah.
For those that have deconstructed religion, how has freedom from religion changed your life? And I'm sure we all have lots of great answers to that. And what were some of the things you were told by the adults or people around you when you had questions about God or the Bible?
That one.
Yeah, that one's going to be juicy. I want to hear what questions y'all were asking too. Yes, I love that. And so shout out to Sovereign Woman for coming up with this idea, because I'm so excited to hear y'all's answers. And I hope that this can be like a safe space for people to share their experiences, where they're at in their deconstruction, etc. Please be nice to each other in the comments. Do not make us pull out my teacher voice, okay? Be nice.
Right.
And our recommendation this week is Therese Lee has just dropped a new series. It will have been dropped on Halloween, so it will have been out for a little bit. It's called Witches, Whores, and Rebels is what it's called. And it's available on her website, thereselee.com. And we are having Therese on as a guest. And her episode will be dropping on November 24th. So keep an eye out for that. Actually, she's not going to be just a guest. She's going to be co-hosting the entire episode with us. So it's going to be a Therese Lee takeover. And we cannot freaking wait.
She has the best takes, doesn't she? Like,
she really
oh my
does.
goodness.
And they're always so like complex and like encompassing. It's like, oh my God, the knowledge that she's drawing from is like from everywhere.
It's so great.
Cannot wait to have her on. So yes, I hope that y'all have a great rest of your week. And if you are able to, please do join us for Crumpets. We're going to be doing some Zodiac talk in there. So we'll see you then.
Yeah.